Hark! Hark! The launch of a new GPU is upon us, allegedly. King Jensen proclaims that the launch of the 4070 will occur on April 13th in the year of our Lord. The actual release date should be on April 1st, because the RTX 4070 is a f***ing joke. Rumors and leaks all but confirmed the 4070 will be announced on April 12th and launch on April 13th for an MSRP of $750 and over $800 for more premium AIB models. Glossing over the once again supposed spec sheets, the 4070 will be powered by 5,888 CUDA cores, a 1.9 GHz base clock, and 12 GB of memory, though with the same 192-bit memory bus as the 4070 Ti. This is not a positive point in saying that, oh, the non-Ti model has the same bit bus as the Ti. The 4070 Ti set the poor precedent of a cut-down memory bus, as looking back at the predecessor 3070 and 3070 Ti, those cards both had a 256-bit bus. Downgrade aside, based on these specs, we can expect the 4070 to perform around 10 to 15% worse than its big brother, the 4070 Ti. So, sacrificing 10 to 15% performance to save $50, that's not enough of a gap to warrant the 4070 over the 4070 Ti. Putting it bluntly, NVIDIA could price this more aggressively at $700 and still probably be fine in margins. The profit just wouldn't be as gross as NVIDIA wants it to be. $750 for a 70 spec card is pretty insane, considering the 3070 launched at $500, and that was with pandemic pricing. Granted, you probably paid north of $600 for a 3070 due to scalpers or otherwise, it's still a hefty hike generation over generation. To me, the pricing makes it pretty clear that NVIDIA is continuing to carve out spaces for both their 40 and 30 series cards to exist in parallel, as NVIDIA still has a bit of stock of 30 series to move. We've actually talked a lot about this topic on the channel, including our previous video, which you can check out here. I will also say, you might be able to find new in-box 3080s for similar price points, if not cheaper than the 4070, both founder editions and AIBs, and the 3080 will probably perform really close to the 4070. And if you go used, the 3080 can be had for even cheaper. Zooming out a bit from the 4070, NVIDIA quote-unquote unlaunching the 4080 12GB turned out to be a blessing in disguise. While we know the 4080 12GB became the 4070 Ti, it actually affected NVIDIA's release cadence for the better if you're NVIDIA. Originally, the 4080 12GB was going to launch along with the 4080 16GB back in November 2022, but NVIDIA pulling the plug on the 12GB model due to consumer and media backlash caused them to launch the 4080 12GB as the 4070 Ti in early January. While I won't get into how there's essentially a card that's missing in action, presumably the originally planned 4070 Ti, the delay has helped NVIDIA settle into a pretty steady release cadence of a new GPU every couple months. NVIDIA is now put into the situation of a card launches. There's lots of discussion about performance and pricing and availability, as remember, all press is good press. This discussion carries over into when the first spec leaks and rumors start to surface and pick up steam about the next card's release. The card in question releases, and the cycle continues. And if NVIDIA continues their pattern of Ti, then normal variant, as they're apparently going with thanks to the 4070 Ti, and the early leads starting to come out about the 4060 Ti, then NVIDIA has a way of staying in the news cycle up until the 4090 Ti, presumably coming later this year, if not very early next year. How NVIDIA will carry themselves leading up to the 50 series launch remains to be seen. NVIDIA dominating the news cycle leads me to my next point. Where the hell is AMD? AMD launched their 7900 XT and XTX cards back in December, and outside of some graphics driver drama, AMD has been pretty dormant. Now would be a really good time for AMD to price cut the 7900 XT, as that GPU was widely criticized for being poorly priced and pretty much just an upsell for the 7900 XTX. A strategic price cut could shift the 7900 XT into being a 4070 and 70 Ti killer, and maybe make NVIDIA reconsider their pricing of the 4070. And furthermore, where are AMD's directly competing cards? Having only 2 cards this far into RDNA 3's lifecycle seems a little odd. At the very least, I would have expected at least a 7800 XTX launch at this point. Of course, when AMD's next GPUs are rumored or announced, make sure you're subscribed to catch our coverage of those cards. Let us know in the comments below how you think the 4070 will fare, and I'll see you in the next one.